Hey guys, so we're logging in today and calculating our target heart rate. So what is our target heart rate? Well, our target heart rate is something that we use to determine our intensity. So when you're creating your fitness plan, you're going to need to determine what type of intensity or how hard you are working. Are you going to be a low intensity, moderate, or a high intensity level? So today we're going to calculate that target heart rate or the target heart rate zone, so that we know how hard we're going to be working when creating a fitness plan. So let's get started. You're going to need a calculator, so grab your phone or pull up the calculator on your computer screen, whichever one you feel more comfortable with. Okay, so let's look at step one. Step one, find your maximum heart rate. So you're going to take your age and you're going to subtract it from 220 if you are male, or your age from 226 if you are a female. This is an estimate of your maximum heart rate. So I'm going to walk you through this. I'm female, so I'm going to choose female. Males, if you're a male, you choose male. Okay, so I'm going to go down here and I'm just going to type it in. Okay, that way I can reference it here in just a minute. Yes, I am 34. Okay, so now I'm going to take 226 minus 34, and that's going to give me my max heart rate. Okay, now you're going to need to reference this. Okay, in step two, so I'm going to highlight mine. You don't have to, but I'm going to highlight mine, that way I can find it easily. Okay, now here comes the hard part. We're going to determine our resting heart rate. Okay, so you're going to use your index finger and your middle finger, put them together side by side, and you're going to press against your wrist on the thumb side. Okay, so I'm actually going to flip it over so it's more comfortable for me. But this is what it looks like. Okay, thumb side. Now, if you press too hard, you won't feel your heart rate. If you don't press hard enough, you won't feel it. So you need to take just a second and see if you can find it. Okay, I've got mine. Okay, so you could do this on your thumb, or you can press it against your neck. Now, I find it easier to find it on my wrist. Okay, some people may find it easier to find it on your neck. So I want you to find whichever one you get comfortable with. Okay, so find that heart rate. Okay, now I know the instruction says to count for 1 minute. Well, we're going to, for the sake of video time, we're going to count for 30 seconds and then times it by 2. Okay, because 30 seconds is half a minute. So we want a full minute. So we got to do 30, or you got to do our pulse times 2. Okay, so we're going to count for 30 seconds. Ready? And hang on, I've lost mine. Okay, count for 30 seconds for your pulse. Ready and go. Okay, stop. Whatever number that you got, you're going to multiply that times 2. Okay, so my resting heart rate is 64. Okay, and it doesn't matter. It can be in the 60s, it can be in the 70s, it can be in the 80s. Everybody is different. Okay, although they say that a lower resting heart rate is a sign of your physical condition. So the more fit you are, the lower resting heart rate you're going to have. The average healthy resting heart rate is 72 beats per minute. So if you're lower, good for you. If you're just a little bit higher, that's okay. All right, so let's go down to step 3. In step 3, we're going to take our max heart rate and subtract our resting heart rate. See, I told you we were going to reference that max heart rate again. So my maximum heart rate was 192. Whoops. My resting heart rate was 64. Okay, so get that calculator out again. Okay, and let's calculate that. So we're going to have 192 minus 64 That's going to give me 128. Okay, now here comes the tricky part. In step 4, we're going to take this number right here, 128, okay, and we're going to multiply it by 0.6 and by 0.8. This is going to give us a zone, okay. A zone is going to be in between two numbers, okay. So let's go ahead and do this math, all right. Times it by 0.6, that gives me 76.8. Okay, if I take 128 and multiply it by 0.8, that's going to give me 102. Okay, now we've got two numbers, and so now we have a zone. However, we're still not done. Okay, so we need to move down to step 5. Whoops, went too far here because we need to see those numbers. All right, so we're going to take our 0.6 number that we multiplied it by, and we're going to add our resting heart rate back. Okay, so resting heart rate was 64, so we're going to put 76.8. Okay, that's going to give us 140.8. Okay, now we're going to take our resting heart rate and add our number here. Okay, 2, 4. Okay, so 102.4 plus 64. And that gives me 166.4. All right, guys. So we just found our target heart rate zone. Okay. 40.8. Uh-oh, I mashed a button. Okay. Let's click out of that. There we go. All right. And 166.4. Okay. All right. So that's my zone. So that means that whatever activity that I've chosen, whether it's cardiorespiratory endurance activity, muscular strength, muscular endurance, I can choose my level of intensity. I can choose a lower intensity, so that way my heart rate is somewhere around 140. Or if I want to choose a moderate intensity for either of those activities, they should probably be somewhere in between, probably about a 150. Okay. If I want high intensity, it should definitely be somewhere in the 160s. Okay, around 166. Now, it's okay if high intensity goes above 166. Okay, it just as long as it doesn't go past your max heart rate. You're not going to last very long exercising at your max heart rate. Okay, but we just want to be careful and make sure that we are within our zone so that we get the most benefit from our activity. Okay, if you got any questions, just ask me, guys, on your Google Meet. Thanks.